The L&N train station, Clarksville. So there is a last train to Clarksville. There really is. Amazing. I wouldn't have thunk it. Last train to Clarksville. How about that? And as you can see, it's raining a little bit. Last night, all that stuff that was on Arkansas, it didn't touch me. There was some heavy thunderstorms, but it wasn't bad. But all day, wherever I'm going, it's like lots of rain and thunderstorms and high winds and shit. So if it gets really bad, when it's blowing me around, I just pull over. Not a problem. Okay, so I am headed out of Clarksville. It's about 10 o'clock. I got up about 8:30. I mean, I got a text from Lauren, and that kind of woke me up. And then 10 minutes later, my alarm went off, so I got up and I made a pot of coffee in the motel room that I was holed up in. There was a lot of heavy thunderstorms last night. And today, when you look at the Weather Channel, it's this whole area that I'm fucking driving through that's going to be tornado, well, not tornadoes, but it's like a tornado watch. So thunderstorms, high winds, all that shit. If it gets to the point where it's blowing me off the road, then I just pull over and ride it out. But this is the kind of weather I got going now. It's going to be a little while before I get into some little country roads again, but for now, it's kind of cool. I mean, seeing the quote-unquote big city. Guess what I saw on the outskirts of this town here. This town of Clarksville, Tennessee. I saw a White Castle. I almost pulled over to get an early lunch, but I thought, you know what? I'll see White Castle soon enough when I get up north. So, time to make some time on the road here. White Castle, civilization. Okay, yeah. So we got a little bit of rain, but on the bright side, we're heading north. As you can see, there's Kentucky. Kentucky. I'm not so sure that Kentucky is a state I'd want to live in. I mean, Alabama was okay, but I have a feeling that like the northern people, Illinois kind of people, you probably do well in Tennessee. Tennessee is kind of like a Illinois light in a way. One thing I do notice when I'm traveling is I look at gas and cigarette prices. Gas prices do not change much. I mean, I think there might be a 15-cent difference between where I was in Florida and here at best. But there's also, like, cigarettes really aren't that much cheaper. Oh my God. I should have quit drinking. I'm seeing pink elephants. I'm seeing pink elephants. I want to say something real quick about give and take out here on the road. I had a friend, Paul Christopher, who has done like hiking, and he took a canoe down the Mississippi River, and he was telling me once that you'd be amazed at how much people will help you out, and you know, when you're out on the road. And when I picked up Alex, the hitchhiker, and his dog Shiloh, I gave him my life straw that I bought. That's this thing that you can put in pretty much any nasty water, and it filters out 99.999% of all pathogens. So I thought that was cool because that could save his life, you know. And I gave him a pack of cigarettes I had, and I actually went in and there was a place that had a buy one get one free for cigarettes. So I thought, what the hell? I took one pack and gave him the other pack. Also for lunch and then for dinner, I bought us all hamburgers off the dollar menu. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to help people out. He gave me a lot of information. I mean, some of it I already knew about survival and fires and things like that, but we traded some little things back and forth, and I learned something. So that's what he gave me. And sometimes all you have to give is knowledge. That's fine, because knowledge is power. was at Ted's, I gave him this one book. I got a bunch of books and they don't all fit into my quote-unquote library. And there was one that was like, do I really want to read this? I kind of read some of it. So I gave it to Ted. It was the Red Green Duct Tape book. Red Green is a Canadian TV show, a comedy show about a guy who's like the caretaker of the Possum Lodge. It's pretty funny if you ever get a chance to see it. It's like sophomoric humor, but it is funny. But Ted gave me some water purification pills, which is kind of weird when you think about it. You know, I gave that kid the Life Straw, and then Ted gives me water purification pills, so although I gave one of my options away, I kind of got it back, so, you know, that worked really well. And then he also gave me this little tiny cook stove. I saw a do-it-yourself cook stove online one time that somebody made out of an Altoids can. You can make a small cook stove, boil water, do all the stuff you need to do. So that was kind of cool, because I guess Ted was into camping a long time ago, but he didn't need it, so he gave it to me, and that's great. I think that stuff's going to come in handy. The other thing I want to talk about, the give. Okay, I've stayed in 3 motel rooms so far. Les Stroud would not be proud of that. The Survivor Man would be saying, what the fuck? But anyway, in each one of those motel rooms, they had Gideon's Bible, go figure. So what I did, I put one of those cards that I have that say, here they are, hang on a second. I have this many cards and more that say, somebody loves you. So I put those on the top of the Gideon's Bible in each one of those rooms, and I left a couple of those in gas stations because I keep some in my pocket. And who knows? Maybe somebody who needs it will find it. It's a generic thing. It could be God, it could be Jesus, it could be your mother, it could be your father, it could be whoever, but somebody loves you. And you know what? Somebody loves you, and it's me. Yep, country roads are beautiful, even when it's raining like hell and you got a semi where the driver must be parked green because he's right on my ass, but that's okay. I'll eventually find a gas station to pull into to get a soda pop, and he can just blast on by. Or you can pass in a really inappropriate place and we'll have it all on video for YouTube. That should be fun. Alright, more later. I had 3 little, well, not little, 2 were like the little short, stubby, totes. Boy, it's hell getting old. But they're little plastic totes. I had some clothes in, and then I had another larger tote on top of it. Anytime that I wanted to get stuff out of there, it was driving me nuts because I had to pick up the top one and put the other one in. It was a mess. So what I did is I ran into Walmart here just to kind of kill some time and maybe get out of the rain a little bit. And I've happened to find on sale for 10 bucks. It's a tote that has wheels, which I'm not going to install, but it has 3 drawers on it, so that's going to work out nice. So I can just open the side, and if I need to grab a pair of pants, they'll be on the bottom, shirts in the middle, socks and underwear on the top, that kind of thing, or whatever else I want to put in there. So I'll just have to ditch the other totes, I guess, or leave a couple on the bottom for other storage, and then put this thing on top of it. So it's going to be nice. It is still raining like hell. I get out on the highway where it says 55 and I'm doing like 45 tops, so that's good. But the good side, they have a Nashville NPR station that I'm still getting in, so that's nice. Something intelligent to listen to. It restores my faith in humanity, seeing that even down here, there's something that's a little bit more intelligent than just what the fare that you might think would be available on the radio. Alright, more later. It is Monday the 28th. It's about 11:38 Central Standard Time. The plan, I have DeMott, Indiana, near Roselawn, Indiana on my GPS. But it says I'll get there like 7:30 tonight. There's no way I'm driving all the way through. It's like 300 and some odd miles. That's where Ponderosa Sun Club is. That may not be the greatest option simply because it's still kind of cold and all that stuff, but they do have a heated pool and all that. But the thing is, with the weather the way it is, and since I'm really not like trying to fly and get somewhere real fast, I may break that up, and somewhere roughly halfway I can figure out what I'm going to do. I don't think I'm going to do a room tonight. I think tonight's the night to finally sleep in the van. But I'll have to do a little organizing before I do that. Alright, I think that's enough for now. Except for this glorious road that I'm on. Kinda nice. Sometimes you get the 4 lanes divided. It's about the same size as an interstate, but not an interstate. And a lot of times you get this. I like this, except that I'm not doing 55 and people pass me all the time, but that's not my problem, that's theirs. Okay, so this park, the state park they pulled into, has cottages and stuff. I don't know where you would go to sign up or anything. That may be an office, but it has several parking spaces. I don't know. But this is just like one part of the park. My guess is that there are probably some tent sites and all that good stuff. But there's a marina down there. There's some other stuff. I'm gonna go take a look and see what else is around and show you too. So still in Kentucky. A lodge, a beach picnic area, marina, miniature golf. I am headed toward the picnic area and the beach. But they also actually have a pro shop, and believe it or not, it said airport. It was a very tiny building, like very tiny, like a little bit bigger than some of these cottages, and then there was what appeared to be a paved landing strip, but it wasn't very big, so we're talking really small planes landing here. But going down this road, there is a little lake over here, or a river or something. And I had my face all zoomed in, like real zoomed in again before. How about that? Maybe I'll learn someday on this trip, I don't know. So I'm gonna find a place to park, get a few shots of something if I can, and then after this I head to the nearest McDonald's to hit the dollar menu and eat, and then hit the road again. Well, I got up here and there's a sign. It says beach closed, see you next season. I guess that's this season. Well, to be honest with you, I'm not thinking this is much of a beach. I mean, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot going on down there, but technically, what is a beach? It's land next to the water. And this is a little lake. I imagine there's fishing that goes on here and some boating in the summer. But right now, there ain't jack shit going on here. That's a little concession house. I guess my timing of leaving on this trip was perfect, simply because I'm getting a jump on all the summer stuff, you know. So I guess that works for me. I can be early on all the summer things that are going on, because it's only April and it's a little chilly out, but it's not bad. I'll live. See you later. Kind of a strange thing I just noticed at this concession house. You got they roll that up and that's where people sell things to you, but there's a phone there. There is a phone here and it's connected. And just for the hell of it, because I am a child, I picked up the receiver and very faintly, very faint, I can hear a dial tone. So call me on that phone. I don't don't know what the number is, but just start with area codes for Kentucky, and then start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and like that. You'll get it. Okay. So apparently, Rough River Lake is the place I was at, and I guess in the summer it must be hopping, because there's a lot of, as I'm driving, I mean like 4 miles away from the original spot, and there are beaches and campgrounds and all kinds of stuff. But apparently it's a little too early in the season, except for like the fishermen who like fishing in the rain, and there was a bunch of those. But Rough River Lake, it's in Kentucky. It's not an upscale thing, but it looks like it might be something kind of cool to go to if you want like primitive camping or those cottages. You'd have to go online and look all that stuff, but it's there. Well, I was driving down the street and I saw a McDonald's bag on the side of the road. You know what that means? Besides there's pigs here, that means there's a McDonald's nearby. So I found one in Hardinsburg, Hardinsburg, Kentucky. And I got me 2 onion cheddar burgers off the dollar menu. Can't beat that with a stick. And after I eat and have a quick smoke, back on the road. See how far I go. So apparently last night when I stopped in Clarksville, I mistakenly, but it worked out good, I stopped and tucked it in for the night about, I don't know, maybe 50 to 100 miles south of where all the really ugly weather was going through. And then this morning on the Weather Channel, it showed this whole area that I was driving into. You know, Kentucky, Tennessee, northern Tennessee, all that stuff. And it was going to be, you know, in the dark red and severe thunderstorms and all that. Well, apparently what I did is I got up just at the right time. When I took off, I did run into some rain. But as far as the heavy shit, I think I just ran right through it before it got there. So that's working for me. That's a good thing. Another thing that's kind of weird, when I first bought this vehicle, about a month after, the service engine soup light went on, and I had it tested, and they said that it was an O2 sensor. There's 2 O2 sensors on this thing, and seeing as how I work delivering car parts to a lot of mechanics, I would ask these guys, I'd pick their brain. And the one guy basically, he tested it and he told me most likely what's going on is your catalytic converter is going bad. However, your catalytic converter can still be working at like 97, 98%, which is fine. You know, it still works. Your gas mileage is still decent. But it can set off the O2 sensors, and he thought that's what it was. Now, the weird part where it comes in is, I think it was a couple days ago. I know it's been at least 2 days, maybe it was 3 days ago. When I was driving this thing, the light's not on anymore. Maybe I fixed it. Just by driving. It's happy and I'm happy. So it's working fine. I guess that's what it is. Alright, more later.
Suburbs of Little Rock, Arkansas. At least 16 people have died. And scientists in Spain are using ground-penetrating radar to search for the body of Spain's most famous author. Although the author died 4 centuries ago, he is believed to be buried under the altar of a medieval convent in Madrid, which is now surrounded by tapas bars in the city's nightlife district. You can find out who I am talking about later today on All Things Considered. This is Here and Now. Funding for Here and Now comes from Brigham and Women's Hospital, leading an international study on early Alzheimer's treatment to prevent memory loss loss before it begins. More in the video or white paper at brighamandwomens.org/Alzheimer's. Brigham and Women's Hospital. Life-giving breakthroughs. And TiVo, maker of the TiVo Romeo, bringing cable TV and streaming apps together in one unified and searchable experience. Available at TiVo.com.
Hi, this is Emil Mock, your local All Things Considered host. While you're at work every day doing what you do, Joe, Lisa, Kevin, and I are in the newsroom or in the field, conducting interviews, making phone calls, researching the stories that we'll tell you about on your drive home. We want you to be just as informed about your community as you are about the goings-on in New York, Washington, and points beyond. It's All Things Considered, every weekday from 3 to 6 Central, 4 to 7 Eastern on WKU Public Radio.
Public Radio is a partnership. WKU Public Radio and NPR work together every day to bring you news coverage and music programs unlike anything else on radio. We're also in a partnership with you. We ask those who listen to and depend on this station to contribute to WKU Public Radio. Your contribution is vital because listener support pays for the programs we all enjoy. If you're not already a member, you can contribute at WKYUFM.org. Thanks.
Another huge pharmaceutical takeover is in the works, but if Pfizer and AstraZeneca get together, what would it mean for consumers?
Also, South Africa's anti-apartheid activist Johnny Clegg on the future of the continent.
Africa's managing to reconfigure and reshape itself coming out of colonialism. You know, Africa's the comeback kid.
That and more, coming up here and now.
I'm Barbara Howard with this news update. The U.S. and Europe are imposing new sanctions on Russia starting today. The U.S. sanctions target 7 Russian government officials as well as 17 companies. British Foreign Secretary William Hague says Russia could face deeper sanctions.
Increasing the scope of the sanctions placed on Russia is the right response to the failure to implement the Geneva Agreement and the continued destabilization of eastern Ukraine.
The European Union has frozen the assets of 15 Russians and banned their travel within the EU. Weather officials are warning residents in parts of Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, and Louisiana that more tornadoes like the deadly ones that hit the southern Midwest over the weekend could be on the way. Arkansas Governor Mike Beebe says that workers are still focused on finding victims and restoring power and phone services.
That's the focus right now. Search and rescue first, and then the restoration of essential services as quickly as possible.
16 people were killed in Arkansas as a tornado carved an 80-mile-wide swath through the suburbs of Little Rock. Somalia is criticizing Kenyan police for arresting thousands of ethnic Somalis. Kenya says its police are cracking down on potential terrorists following a wave of violence.
We are not too far from the Indiana border, and we have to go over the Ohio River. Once upon a time, driving over a bridge like this would scare the holy crap out of me. I don't know why. It's like not a big deal. That thing looks pretty rusty, huh? Looks like they need to do some infrastructure work here. I didn't back up, I just zoomed back. Thought I backed up real fast, didn't you? Yep, we're going over the Ohio River, and on the other side, on the low side, the Indiana side, it looks like there's a lot of backwater and stuff, so this bridge probably takes us not only over the river, but over a lot of that crappy shit. Maybe hell, Lewis and Clark had to walk through all this crap. Boy, fuck that. And on the downside, which is kind of apropos, we have Indiana, one of my least favorite states. Trivia question: in what state did the Ku Klux Klan originate? Everybody's saying Mississippi, Alabama, all that crap. Nope, it was in Indiana. Yet another reason to Wonder why Indiana is part of the United States. However, their gun laws are good, so I didn't have to unstrap. And maybe their gas and cigarettes are cheaper. I don't know. We'll see.
As a matter
More
of
later.
international law and international norms, we don't think that coercion and intimidation is the way to manage these disputes.
Well, Frank, the president said coercion and intimidation.
I am in Judah, Indiana. J-U-D-A-H, I believe. I had to stop and get a coffee because I was doing a slow burnout. I was falling asleep almost. So I figured I'd wake up a little bit. I'm also trying to figure out a better way of getting to where I'm going. Oh, you'll have to excuse that noise. There's a really, really big fat guy, and he's backing up his truck. So I got out the antique GPS. Rand McNally. I'm gonna look up Indiana. So I know where I'm at, kind of. I've looked at this before. Bedford, Judah. Okay. Well, hell, if I go straight north to Bloomington, Indiana, that's the next big town. I was gonna go all the way up to Mott or Rosemont or Roselawn. It's just too damn far. Just too damn far, and it's weird, but they are on daylight savings time, kind of, here. But some of the radio stations I'm hearing are off by an hour. She says that when you're on the big cities in Kentucky, like Louisville, that's on a different time, so that throws things off a little bit. But I have, like, my cell phone tells me it's 6:30, I think, 6:30 p.m. 6:46 p.m. and everything else, my car and everything else is saying 5 something, so that's kind of weird. But I think what I'm going to do, because right now you can kind of see the sky, and over here, kind of nice. Over here, iffy. But over there is ugly, and on the NPR station, I keep hearing they're talking about really bad shit coming through. Maybe not as bad as what in Arkansas, but bad. So I have a feeling that in Bloomington I may wind up getting a room. So much for living in my van, huh? There'll be plenty of time for that, and less. So I think that's about it for now. Oh, in Indiana, I walked into a gun shop and I bought some rounds and didn't have to show them a FOID card like you do in Illinois. Didn't have to show any ID, just bought the stuff and walked out. So that's cool. So that was the one. I had enough rounds for my AK. I had enough rounds for my little 22. I had shitloads of rounds for my 22. But I needed another like 100 or something for my 9 just to give me some practice stuff. I got some people that want to shoot when I get up there. So, well, I am going to drink my coffee. I got hot buttered rum flavor. I've never had a hot buttered rum at all, so. Ooh, damn. If I drank alcohol, I'd put some in there. Well, no, not if I'm going to try it. Alright, that's enough for now. Keep saying that, that's enough for now. That is all. I have T-Mobile for my, my service provider for my cell phone. And with the phone I have 4G. Every once in a while it slips down to 2G, and the reason it does that, and I remember talking to my brother once saying, well, I never even heard of 2G, but what it does is sometimes it throttles you down and you're getting near the end of a month or something, so you don't use too much bandwidth and all that good stuff. But there are other times when you're out in the middle of nowhere that you'll get 2G. On this trip a couple times, I have gotten, it just literally says G. Fucking G. Not 4G, not 3G, not even that weird 2G, just G. I'm not even sure if it's a 1G, it's just a G. So, you can't get a hold of me sometimes if you try to call or send a text. I don't know why.
Felicidad, music of Antonio Carlos Jobim. The guitarist was Jason Vio on his recording Play from the Azteca Records label, our featured classical recording for this week. You can find our complete playlist for the local jazz and classical music hours, as well as links to the national programs you hear when you go to WFIU.org. From the per day view, you can find those playlists and also link to many of your favorite options for purchasing that music. Tomorrow night, join us here on WFIU for another round of either game. Horsing around tomorrow night, we'll saddle up for an all-equine edition of the program. Following that at 9,
there are signs all up and down this road about warning falling rocks. I have seen a couple rocks that look like, you don't know if they fell an hour ago, a month ago, or what, but there were a couple of them that were as big as like a small car, like a smart car. There was some that was as big as that. Now, they fall onto the shoulder, but I'm guessing there might be times when they roll out, so I stay awake to that. I just crossed over a road that is called That Road. That, T-H-A-T. I hope they don't have a this road around here, or those roads around here, like Bud Abbott and Lou Costello. I can tell I'm getting a little bit north because I see eastern redbud trees, like those guys there, those purple things, one of my favorite trees. Later they look normal, like normal trees, and then I see a Menards. Right on. We are getting north, man. We are getting freaking north! But everybody still talks like a hickabilly around here. That's gonna go on for a while, I think. I think. Okay. So I got this motel really cheap, and they wound up giving me a double. Only because I asked, hey, can I be close to the window so I can see my van? This thing has an entrance there, and an entrance there. And it has a safe. And it has a kind of a decent sized bathroom. That's what we got here. Stand-up shower, that's kind of nice. Apparently this one's been redone. Some of these things are just rat holes. Looks like somebody actually spent some money and fixed this one. Nice. Very nice. And I'll be sleeping here tonight. It is 7 o'clock now. I gotta get busy saving and editing some video. And I'll have my Somebody Loves You card in there soon. So anyway, one more night. I'm watching Weather Channel right now, and it looks pretty ugly, and I don't even want to mess around. So it's gonna be worse in Mississippi, but it's gonna get ugly here, so I'd rather be in a building. All right, see you later.